morning, delivery fam, and welcome back to another episode of Breakfast with UDM on the Life of a Gig Worker podcast. And Josh, it is Motivational Mondays.
Hey.
But before we get into any kind of quotes or anything, before you read anything on the screen, sir, we got some names for you, okay?
All
right, so check this out. First one, okay, we got Megamind.
I like
B-Style. Huh?
He added that little. I be blowing motherfuckers' minds over here.
Yeah, exactly, right? We got Megamind, right? And then we also have Mr. Medulla. Let us know which one you want him to have as a name in the comment section down below. We got Megamind. Put it up on the screen. Megamind by B-Style, or this is actually Nandito right here. Nandito, Mr. Medulla.
Oh,
Hey, but look at the text. Josh shaved his head, aka Mr. Medulla. All the knowledge he putting out there. So he giving you a compliment, bro.
bro. So I shaved my head once, right?
Uh-huh.
It definitely ain't look like that. So I got like fucking wrinkles in my head.
Oh,
I ain't
man.
know until I shaved my head, bro. I look like one of those bald people that look like a fucking meathead.
Did you see that video of the person putting their their shades backwards, and it looked like a face? All right. So before you read the quote of the day, right? There's something that actually I got to go back to this screen here. I wanna put up on the screen here because I feel there's some people that feel some type of way about the cussing, right? But in this one, Bus Boss Emmy says it's like you're a bad influence on me, sir. Josh talks UDM into using the F word. Really?
Mr. Politically correct on camera.
Bro, see how you said it on camera, right? On camera. Don't I cuss, maybe not as much as you, even on offline, but don't I cuss offline, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I bait the fuck out of him when it comes to online world. I want him to be him, and I know he's used to having this view of like I made a stream for like that was children friendly,
Yeah,
and I'm like nah, fuck that. I don't, because I used to have to get on and I have to like pause and be like, how am I gonna say this? How am I gonna say this? How am I gonna say this? Remember, bro? I used to have to like pause and I had to catch myself and be like, oh, my bad.
yeah.
But now that we could finally, like, this is a stream that's marked, 18 and up, or well, a podcast is marked 18 and up. I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like the language that I use, but it's just me. This is me. You getting the real me.
It's not just you, man. I'll tell you like this, man. I see it as a form of an expression, right? And the other comment, right? The other comment that was left was too much cussing. If you see, and I'm not reading all of that, especially your response. Your response was like a whole encyclopedia. I'm like, nah, not today, Josh. But if you just read like the very beginning of it, you're focused on the wrong thing. This is a free space where we express ourselves in the way we wish to. And it's unfortunate it's not your cup of tea, but this is who we are off camera. That's pretty much what I was trying to say. And this whole podcast, the conversations we have, yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff, but these are like conversations we would have off camera, and we're just speaking, we're speaking freely. There's like that burp. It's like, I'm not editing that out. That's how it is. We're just having a real conversation and speaking freely. And I'm all for that. I know on the other channel, since you brought it up, the other channel, yeah, I had a time where my kids were watching me, bro. Right? They were like watching me, and I did not want to teach them these words through my channel. And then when they were old enough to start searching YouTube stuff on their own, and then I'm walking in and then I'm hearing the language. Oh, hey, what you watching? It ain't coming from me on anymore. so I'm just like, okay.
So I'll make this short and brief. So there's actually been a couple of studies that have been linked to profanity, intelligence levels, and the use of them. Right. I'll let you guys do your own research, but it comes down to the fact that most intelligent people, or anybody that has a higher than average IQ, is going to curse a little bit more than your average person. And the reason behind that is because some people feel that it's an easier descriptive word. Now, you're going to get those unintelligent people that curse like a sailor, but that's a whole nother ball game. It's just it dependent upon how you use it. I grew up in the south side of Chicago, bro. So that's just where I grew up. It's a part of who I am. But yeah, no, I found it interesting because after that comment came about, I started doing some research. You know me. Late night, just researching some shit. But yeah, I found out that it's linked to both social anxiety as well as intellectual like processing. There's a couple of really cool studies that I encourage everybody to check out because it's actually pretty cool. It's like if you have anybody that has an above normal IQ, like I'd say about 1.5 times your normal IQ, they're messy as all get out. They have zero organizational skills.
Yeah, I think I read something similar sometime in my life. It's kind of like I'm trying to go into my little memory bank, right? try to figure out where I heard this from. But yeah, I mean, yeah, well, I'll definitely do some more research on it. And if you are watching or listening right now and you choose to, if it's something that you know that Josh is kind of like touching on that you know for a fact is somewhere that we could find this, put it in the comments. It might be a link and YouTube might not allow you to post the link, but if you just put like in words, Josh dot.com, and so just let us know if you know what Josh is talking about here, right? But without further ado, okay, because we know we got to motivate y'all to get this week started and for y'all to go out there, not just hustle, but make right decisions. Remember that episode, bro? That Friday episode where 775 for like 20 miles. I know that's like, and that was a double dash. It was a catering order, and it was a Walgreens. I think it was a shop and pay and something, and then it was a catering order. So I'm like, for 775, but
Walgreens Outback.
Yeah, we got to motivate y'all to make wise decisions. And in that conversation, also, Josh showed the base pay of $809, and we also found out that the heavyweight bonus was only $9. Yeah, that was terrible. But
yeah,
in all, without rambling on and on, we got to motivate y'all to go out there and get that money this week, and you got to do better than you did last week. Whether you're making more money to have in your bank account or making money moves to eventually have more money in your bank account or wherever you store your money at, right? So, Josh, ready to read the quote?
I got you. It's a good one.
All right. What is it?
If you want to fly, give up on everything that weighs you down. From Buddha. What you think?
It's like that crab is in the bucket type of mentality, bro. I 100% agree with this. I mean, there hasn't been a quote that you've read that I have disagreed with, but this is one of those that resonates with me like on a very deep level, because I've had so many people in my life that at times, man, it's just felt like every time I'm trying to make a step forward, 2 steps forward, I got to take like 10 steps backward because I was such a giving person. And I felt like some people in my life at the time were taking advantage of me being a giving person. You know what I mean? It's just like, remember that story I told you about that homeboy I had that was following some ass out to Vegas or whatever. And then he hit me up about $200 or whatever, and then I told him I had my light bill. It was I think I was talking about not making any more sacrifices, right? And then when anyway, to fast forward, that experience and many other experiences just caused me to like cut a lot of people off. Some of them got in their feelings. Some of them just felt like I needed space. Family too, bro. When I say this, like family too. I cut people off, and they later realized, family and friends, like, yo, Brian ain't on that shit no more. So it's either I leave him alone or he's gonna speak his mind when I check him on him cutting me off like that. And do I want to go there with him? Some of them have been bold and said, hell yeah, I'll go there with him. And then they find out, and now it's even worse. The whole relationship is tarnished, bro. Like just completely done. Don't call me, don't text me, none of that. So, and then there's the other ones that's like, okay, I understand how you feel, and I need to do better. As a friend, as a family member, I need to do better. So I'm gonna let you have your space. You won this one. I'm gonna take this L, but I understand you better now. So, and to be honest with you, man, the cousin that fixed my AC compressor, okay,
What are those?
the cousin that fixed my AC compressor is one of those people, the family member that we had a fallout, a really serious fallout when I was on my growing journey, right? And but he understood, like, you know what? I got some part to play in this as well. So anyway, I'm saying all of that to basically say, like, man, you know, that dead weight will hold you down from flying off. And you just can't fly off if that weight too heavy, and you got to let that shit go. And I'm all about that now.
So I'm going to give you a really short synopsis of a really great analogy that Tyler Perry gave out. To be completely frank, it was Medea, right? Basically, in a nutshell, and you can look it up if you want to see the whole thing for yourself. But in a nutshell, there are people that are around you for a long time, and there are people that are around you for a good time. And you have to be able to realize the difference. The analogy was about a tree with roots, leaves, branches, right? Some people are like leaves. They come, they're here for a season, and then they go. You got the branches that are here for a while, but they may break off. Then you got the trunk. You've got people that will deal with some shit and they'll grow with you.
Yeah.
But they're not the roots. They're not a part of your foundation. And if shit really hits the fan and the tree breaks in half, they're going to go with it. But you want people around you that are going to be those roots. And that's basically what you've said in a nutshell. You know, I've cut off family. I don't talk to 95% of my family. I've made my own family, right? And it's just because I want people around me that are going to grow and they're going to continue to move forward. My family for generations has been stuck in this realm of pretty much spending more money than they make. They don't want to move up. They don't want to do anything else. Those who did, I kept them around. Those who don't, listen, you do you go have these parties, these vacations and all that, but I'm going to be over here. I'm going to grow. I'm going to grind because I want my kids to have something better than what I had growing up.
Right.
So I said all of this to say this. Basically, you know, you've got to let things go, whether it be a person or materialistic things that are costing you the ability to grow. Like a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to get rid of my car because, you know, I love this car. I got so many memories in this car. Yeah, but you spending $5,000 a month on repairs in this thing. Let it go. You know, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a materialistic item. And that's, I know when Buddha was, you know, basically making that quote, he was talking about more so materialistic things. If you follow the Buddha journey and the path to enlightenment. So that path to enlightenment was basically I think it was 100 days of fasting. I have to do the research, but it was like so many days of fasting and meditation. And he cut out everybody and everything. And he just pretty much walked the earth. So there's a lot to unpack there where he just let everything go and he reached that path of enlightenment. And that's why so many people follow him so heavily.
Bro, it's I'm gonna relate. I'm gonna tie this to like hoarding, right? Um, if you've never dealt with a hoarder, they will hold on to the simplest thing, and they will fight you, depending on how attached they are to it, right? Um, I've seen shows where like some extreme hoarding, man, and I'm like, whoa. And I know some people that they will find every reason to hold on to something. And I'm like, why? Okay. If there's no absolute reason why this has sentimental value. What's the sentimental value in it? Oh, this was the first place that I ate at in America. Okay. So you kept the menu?
Take a photo. I tell people, take a photo. It lasts longer, bro.
But
No,
you see what I'm saying?
yeah, no, and it's crazy because it is like if you look into hoarding, it's a part of OCD. It's a mental disorder, right? It's the fact that they obsess over the feeling that they have to the item. So getting rid of those items feels like they're getting rid of that memory. Um, I had a friend of mine that became a hoarder, normal dude, completely normal, but he got to the point where he would hoard like dog hair. Like, oh well, if I get rid of this dog hair that I swept up from my floor, I'm getting rid of the history of my dog. And I'm like, yo, come on, bro. That shit disgusting as fuck. I said, I can't walk in your house and not sneeze because you got bags and bags of dog hair in your attic. Like it's just, yeah. It it could be the smallest thing, and it could be a traumatic thing that creates that domino effect. And the only way to get rid of that domino effect is to let things go. You have to face the fears and let things go. And a lot of people are very, very attached, like a hoarder, to their connections with people. And a lot of people will go over that time and time again, that traumatic loss or pain of going through an argument with a friend, or trying to help them and they don't want the help.
Yeah.
And what I've learned over the years is that a lot of people have textbook Stockholm syndrome, where they've been kind of like beaten and battered emotionally, but they thrive for that connection. So they keep going back and they keep doing the same thing over and over again, which brings me to another quote that I'll leave you guys with. Albert Einstein once said that, doing something repetitive over and over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. And that definition of insanity is only going to break when you expect a different result or do something different. So, for example, if you're going out here every single day and trying to make money in the same exact way, you're insane. You have to do something different. Go to a different area, sit in a different spot, try a different connection, download a different app. There's so many avenues that we could take, but if we do the same thing over and over and over and over, and we expect a different result out of what we had already attained from the original trial, it's the definition of insanity. And it's the same thing with emotional connections and everything like that, which is why I always tell people, like, let it go.
Yeah. And
3-strike rule.
is the same thing as just the attachment to. There was a point where I would say, like, man, I'm a gig worker. I'm not a dasher. I'm not an Uber Eats driver. I'm a gig worker. And some people will take offense to it. Like, what are you talking about? You doing DoorDash. You doing DoorDash content. You a dasher. They're like, no, you got to look at it different. I'm not a gig worker. I'm not a dasher. I'm a gig worker, right? So a gig worker gives me an umbrella of all the different types of gigs that I do, right? Now, if you want me to go into my library of all the different types of gigs that I do, I could tell you one day I'm a delivery driver. Another day, I am a storage organizer. I'm talking about tackle or whatever, right? Another day, if I really wanted to, I could be a mechanic. You see what I mean? Like, but all of these are different gigs that I would make money from. So when I say I'm a gig worker, I'm not a dasher. It's I remember when I went to purchase the vehicle that I have, they were like, "Oh, you're an Uber driver." No.
Yeah.
I'm an independent contractor.
I'd never tell. So there's a reason I do specific things, not to cut you off, but I run an LLC and I W 2 myself with the earnings in which I make from the apps. And it's because of that fucking reason right there.
Yep.
Right there.
I learned from
Because,
that.
yeah, anytime that you tell somebody that you're an independent contractor or a gig worker, your financial status, even though you're making money that's up here, your financial status takes a fucking dive. And I mean just a huge dive because people see it as like oh, he's just some lazy guy that doesn't want to go get a job. But if you run everything the right way, I say, hey, I'm a logistics specialist business. So I specialize in logistics, food delivery, transportation, hotshot deliveries. And people always look at that like, well, why are you doing so many things? Oh, because you have to be able to bend and twist to make this money.
Yeah.
So I've set myself up for success. I've set up the LLC. I W-2 myself with the earnings so that if I ever have to go get a car, for example, it's not like you got all this independent contractor 1099 work, because in their mind, and they're very correct in the saying, and they say, oh, well, that's unstable earnings because tomorrow
Yeah.
you might not make that.
Right. And I mean, I get it, right? But at the time, me telling them that I'm an independent contractor, that's taking the title of Dasher or Uber driver away, right? I'm an
Mm-hmm.
independent contractor. So any way that I can make money, I do, right? Even if it's YouTube, right? So all of these different avenues, I'm saying all of this to basically say, like, when you give yourself a title that is connected to one platform or one source of making money, then you limit yourself in a sense. So I know there's people out there, going back to like the gig work talk, right? There's people out there that even if I share catering, even if you shared the dispatch of making
Mm-hmm.
809 as the base pay, even if people share personal shopping like dumpling app, right? There's people that are just so connected to DoorDash. It's like an addiction, right? And even with that addiction, you've talked about Albert Einstein's quote, you've talked about other things, and they would not see themselves as insane because they will look at it like, oh, it's just a bad day, because they're so used to making the money that they've been making. This week is just terrible. So they'll make an excuse and say, oh, it's just a bad week. It's just a bad week. And then the next week after that, it's just a bad week. Then the next week after that, it's just a bad week. No, you're only focused on one platform. From day one, that once I started multi-apping and stuff like that, I made it my duty to try to help people see the opportunities outside so you don't just get connected and focused on just one. And I used to say no app loyalty. No app loyalty. So I'm saying all of that to basically wrap up and say there's no app loyalty, but it doesn't even have to be an app. You could do something for yourself and you could let go of the app life, because the app life might be hindering you from making the real money you want to make. But you have to develop that courage for you to be able to go and speak with someone, and that could be a potential client right there. So let go of all those things, those friends, those family members, the things you are attached to, the things you are hoarding, whether it's apps or whatever, that life or whatever. If you are trying to elevate financially and fly, like the doggone quote says, if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. It didn't say give up a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, it said give up everything that weighs you down. And you have to see it's weighing you down. And if you feel that weight, don't even worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Just let it go and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's my last few words, bro. What's your last few words?
I'm going to use my famous quote that is for me or from me. Stop being independently dependent.
That's all you got?
Stop being independently dependent. When you're saying, "Oh, I'm a dasher," okay, well you're a dasher, but you're dependent upon DoorDash to send you orders. So what happens when that turns off? You still gonna stick to being a dasher? You're gonna go over here and be a gig worker, or you gonna be a business owner?
Yeah.
So stop being independently dependent and labeling yourself with a single app. These apps don't love you. They'll cut your ass as soon as they got you on, and it won't be 3 to 5 business days for no background check neither. It'll be snip.
Yeah. They have the right to terminate their relationship with you at any time.
For any reason.
For any reason. So, man, let us know how you feel about a lot of what's being said, or even your take on just letting go of everything that's holding you down from taking off, right? And I'm just going to call it taking off because you just don't know. Your first step on your own might turn you into a track star. But
he's a track star. Sorry.
if you're afraid to take your first step, you'll never know how fast you are. Or we could use a Forrest Gump situation, right? Walking on braces. But I'm saying, like, look at how long he been on braces, and until he was sick of them buddies, they was coming after him. Them braces broke off, and that dude took off. And then he been running all his life after that.
Jenny! I'm coming, Jenny!
So, with that said, fam, let us know how you feel about the topic. Let us know how you your take on it. Put it on in the comment section, and what we'll try to do in future episodes, including this one where we shared a few comments in the beginning. We want to engage with y'all, not just after the video, but we want to let you see our actual responses on screen. All right. So let us know how you feel in the comment section down below. And that's all I got, Josh. So you ready?
Deuces.
Deuces. Oh, yeah. What time it is, D-Fam? It's time to go get your money.